You're listening to the Talking Walls fans' reactions for the 24-25 Premier League season.
Yeah, for me, sadly, that is the end of the road for Gary O'Neill today, even though he didn't say it in the media press before the match. Today was a must-win for him. Might have not been a must-win for our season, but it was a must-win for his career. And unfortunately, today, he's failed to do that, and I think it's mainly his fault. The first half, we had no plan, no tactical setup. Sarabia was completely the wrong pick today. You could see even from the stands how obvious it was that we were clearly lacking a right side. Whenever Semedo got the ball, he was asked to do everything up that side, attack and defend at the same time. And I'm surprised he even lasted the full 90. To be honest, his fitness must be the best in the squad, because what he was doing in the first half and what he was asked to do throughout the entirety of the game, it is ridiculous. He dropped another 9 out of 10 performance. Semedo didn't put a foot wrong today, and he deserves to be on winning sides the majority of the time, and we're not doing that because the tactical setup, the defensive setup, all these players individually are great players. Santi Bueno's amazing. What a player he's been this season. Dawson, we know how good he is. He pocketed Haaland. The less said about the left-hand side with Totti and Aitken, he's defending, the better. But for the majority of the time, these are good players and they should be getting better defensive results than what is currently happening. And that's down to coaching, unfortunately. I was not happy with the lineup when I saw it. I thought for sure Sarabia was the wrong option. I know people were clamouring for him to start from his cameo last week, but it's just not the right matchup. And how you can miss 2 one-on-one opportunities in the Premier League and continue to play minutes is just not, it's not acceptable. Even Fabio Silva would have done better with those chances. Patrick Cutrone would have scored those. Do you know what I mean? You are a Premier League level footballer, not a youth player who's making his mark in the Premier League. You are above the age of 30. You've played for PSG. You've played in Spain for the world's biggest clubs. You should be able, on a one-on-one situation where you could have made a coffee and came back and still had time to compose yourself and take a finish, to put it into the corner. How are you not scoring either one of those opportunities? It's a disgrace. And unfortunately, Pablo Sarabia today has cost Gary O'Neill his job. I thought the substitutions did change us for the better, even though they were booed. I really did think that we needed, I think, if I'm completely honest, all that was needed to happen at half-time was Sarabia off for Forbes or even Bellegarde. Look, Bellegarde offered nothing for me, but Forbes on would have been a better option, and I think we probably would have won the game. Instead, we're now talking about him losing his job, and unfortunately it's his decisions pre-match and in the middle of the match at half-time that's cost him his job. But yeah, we need to make a change now, quickly. Otherwise, we have Southampton next week, and if we don't manage to win that one with Gary O'Neill in charge, then we've already wasted that opportunity, and then he would go anyway. So it's, even if he wins that one next week, I still don't think he's the right man to take us forward anymore. So for me, he's got to go. And it's poor defending and poor coaching that's the issue.
Going to be a short and sweet one from me this evening. It's finished Wolves 2, Palace 2. We are diabolical. The manager's diabolical. These players only want to play when there's a rocket up their arse for 5 minutes in the game. I feel so sorry for some of these lads, because some of them try week in, week out, and then others are letting him down. Big praise for Sarabia last week. I just cannot believe what I've seen from him today. It was almost like he was playing Sunday League, thinking he's got so much time on the ball. His passing was dreadful. He's so weak. Everything to do with him just frustrates me. And it's really difficult to watch his team at the moment because nothing good is going for us. We don't win, we scrape draws. I wish that firework would hit me. But yeah, it's a massive stress watching this Wolves team at the moment. The quicker we sack this manager, the better for Wolves, I think. We need a manager who is experienced in the Premier League, who can come in and work his magic. I gave big praise to the lads for last week, but today is just completely night and day. it's so tough to keep turning up week in, week out, expecting to get a win or expecting just to play well for 90 minutes and get something out of the game that we've deserved. We were lucky to get a point today. Their goal that was disallowed is never, ever a foul. Sars had a clanger again, dropped the ball, and it's never a foul. Not in a million years. We have absolutely been very, very lucky in that situation. And yeah, sometimes it doesn't go our way, so maybe we've deserved that bit of luck. But today I can't even believe what I'm watching. The whole of the South Bank turned after he took Tommy Doyle off, which I think is the wrong decision. Yes, Lamina played well when he come on, but I think it lies deeper than that. Tommy Doyle's our best ball-playing midfielder, and to take him off was just seemed mental to me at the time. And funnily enough, you know, the whole stand's turned, you don't know what you're doing, all of that sort of stuff. But then we go on to score 2 goals, and it's looking hunky-dory again. But once again, we've conceded at the back post. Do they go in on a Monday and when they rewatch the games, do they like not focus on goals they've conceded? Because we concede so many goals at the back post. I think there's 4 or 5 goals now this season that we've conceded, all at the back post. Criminal. The quicker we get him out, the quicker it will be better for us. We're 7 points adrift of safety, and everyone's saying, oh yeah, some easy games coming up now. None of these are any easy games. We're the easy game. Southampton will be coming to us next week thinking, bloody hell, we could get something here. Nice easy game for us. Wolves away will be nice. We could probably get something there. What on earth is it come to for that? I'm just sick of it. I'm so bored. It's boring. We're so boring to watch. There's no style of play. They play well for 5 minutes, and then they absolutely crumble. I'm sick of it. Get him out. I've had enough.
Well, another frustrating game. Obviously went 1-0 down. Turned it around really well actually to come back at 2-1 up, and at that point you thought, can we see it out and get a win? But they get a corner and the ball ends up in the back of the net, and to be honest, I'm sick of just seeing preventable soft goals end up in the back of our net. First one that they scored to take the lead, Larsson's just nodded it out of Sarr's hands near enough, straight to the Palace player who scored. I don't know if Sarr didn't call, but for me, he's got to be screaming at Larsson to leave that. Even if he has to come out, take the ball, take the man, take everything, that should have been Sarr's ball, and it just such a preventable goal. Never should have gone 1-0 down. As I say, we then had a crazy 5 minutes, got back on the ball. We played some really good stuff at times. Sarabia should have had 2 goals before we even went 1-0 down. We should have really been 2-0 up, but really poor from him for both of those. I thought he had a good game overall, but as soon as he got in the box, he seemed to not know what he was doing. He should have hit the first one, and then the second one he smashed straight at the keeper when he should have just rolled it past him. But so come back really well. Couple of two good goals. They play some really good football at times, and yeah, some really good football for the 2 goals that Larsson and Gomez both took really well. Good play from Kuna for Larsson's goal, and good play from Guedes for Gomez's one. So I say some really good football going forward, but then we just absolutely shoot ourselves in the foot and concede from a corner, and you can't go into every game needing to score 3-4 goals to get 3 points. And that's what it's like at the moment. You look at the goals we've conceded, the amount of goals we've conceded, it's just not good enough. And the defence today played well. Individually, each of those defensive players played well, but we're just conceding such soft goals. And the set-piece coach got the sack, and clearly he wasn't the issue, was he? Because we're still conceding game after game from set pieces. I say 2 set-piece goals we've conceded today, which is just not good enough. But you really got to start fearing for us now. We're getting cut adrift at the bottom. We need so many points from the games that are left. I mean, to be 10 games into the season and only have 3 points is nowhere near good enough. They've obviously come from 3 draws, but effectively 1 win. And 1 win in 20 is just not good enough. And ultimately, O'Neill's got to take the blame. And you do think a better manager would get more out of these teams and cut out those sloppy decisions. He can't. It's not his fault that Sarr hasn't claimed the first one. It's potentially his fault that the man's free for the second from the corner, but it can't keep happening every game. And if it keep happening every game, you've got to change something. And unfortunately for O'Neill, he's the only thing that can be changed. So for me, I think it's time up. He's got to go. In theory, we have some winnable games, but I'm not really sure when we're 10 games in and haven't won one, what is a winnable game. But it's got to make a change sooner or later, or otherwise I think it's back to the Championship for us. So it's finished Wolves 2, Palace 2. Sam jumping back on the channel into opinions really quickly. Oh, it was a crazy game. What a difference a week makes in points. Obviously, a point last week felt amazing. This week, it feels like absolute kick in the teeth. It was a game we controlled for large periods of the game. So much chance in the first half, but I'll go into that more in a minute. Obviously, Sarabia came back in. This is a player that always divides opinions. And he'll divide opinions for a reason exactly for this game, because his first half performance with his second half performance is completely different. First half, he got the ball moving. He showed he was quick on the ball. He always an option to pass to affairs. He'd actually create things. Now, what's going to kill people is he should have scored 2 goals. He's had 2 really good chances, and he didn't score either of them. The second one was criminal, really. And it's just so frustrating. I can see why people will be saying, get him dropped. He should be playing next week. And I'm one of those, but I'll go more into that in a minute. It's just disappointing because of how well we played. And lots of the good things we did in the first half, he was a key part of. But then, as the game went on, it became less and less effective. Joe Gomez today was absolutely class. One of his best games, I think, for us. Compete with the ball so much in midfield. There were some bits where the ball playing to him in difficult positions. He played it out. He won the ball back loads. He was carrying the ball up the pitch when the ball bounced up to about chest height. He'd be running full speed, still carry the ball forward, win it back or play it to someone else. He absolutely class, Gomez. And that's the sort of performance today we're thinking, how's he not in the Brazil squad? How are teams will be looking at him, because he absolutely ran the show today. Same with Tommy Doyle in midfield. Tommy Doyle was class. Again, someone else who got on the ball a lot, kept the ball ticking over. When he was taken off, obviously he was booed by including me actually, a large section of the fan base. He was playing, unless there was an injury involved, that he should never have come off in the game. He brought Lamina on, and Lamina then can't pass the ball as quick as Tommy Doyle can. 2 many touches, slowed the play down, and that then nullified our attack quite a bit. So I think Lamina was the wrong decision there at that point, unless there was injury. Guedes came on. I thought Guedes was really good when he came on, actually. A couple of nice touches, a couple of runs in behind. What was really good is where the second goal was the fact that as soon as Kuhn got on the ball, if you watch Guedes' movement, he widens the pitch straight away. He goes wide right, takes the defender away from him in the game, creates loads of space in midfield for Joe Gomez. And you could scream as soon as the ball came to Kuhn, get it to Guedes, played it across, cuts it back in, obviously Joe Gomez finishes it well. And it was dead easy, like they were easy goals to score against Palace. They offered absolutely nothing. Now, they had a lot of injuries, but they were playing loads of long balls over the top. I mean, some of the goals you can see, the one where, the first one where Sarr's coming for it and then Larson heads it on. If Sarr has not shouted for that, that's absolutely criminal. Like, I'm presuming he has done, and Larson's messed it up. But that was embarrassing. Another one from a set piece again. You're just thinking, even when we scored, we went 2-1 up. I was thinking, we need to score again here. We want to be 3-1. We're not going to win this game because we can't see anything out. And exactly what I said happened. The subs came on. There was more chaos involved. It was just it was just with no control of the game. This was in the second half. The first half we absolutely dominated them. But another crazy thing as well is that the back line actually played quite well today. Dawson was class. Santi Bueno's going under the radar because he's top class performances. Semedo was really good, and I feel like Semedo's the loneliest man on the pitch because every time the ball gets to him, there's no one in front of him. There's no one anywhere near him. Same with Breno and Dawson. They had in the second half. This was all to do with also when Tommy Doyle went off and Lamina came on. Some of the passes that they were giving to Dawson, Breno, and Semedo, it was like, have the ball here. We're not going to we're not going to give you an option to pass to. Deal with it yourselves. And that happened so many times. There's not an option to pass on for them to pass to. It just kills your attack, and you have to go back. It goes to Sarr. He goes out. You're playing long balls in the channel. All that comes from your midfield's not showing enough. And a fair play. Joe Gomez was probably tired, but Lamina, his legs weren't there. He wasn't showing what he should have been doing on the ball. He never does, really. The change should have been there. If he was going to take Tommy Doyle off, he probably should have brought Andre on, because Andre's more effective at taking the ball on the half turn and playing the ball more. The final key points on this one is, again, we know we should have comfortably won that game, and that's what I said at the start of the video, the clip, where I said what a difference in a week of point feels. That feels like 2 points dropped. Southampton is a must-win game now. Now, I've always seen something on social media about Gary O'Neill potentially trying to be sacked and all that sort of stuff. He should be now, but I don't think they will. I think they'll wait until Southampton to the next.
so then the next manager can start in the international break. But if he does win it, then do you sack him anyway? Probably. I think you'd probably sack him anyway. It's the first time we're into the game today where none of the managers, Gary Neal didn't come over and clap the stand I was in. Lamine didn't come and clap the stand North Bank. The only ones that were clapping really was Dawson, Santi Bueno, and then Joe Gomez as well, in fairness to him. But the captain's walking straight down the tunnel, or pretty much down the tunnel, fairly quickly, not supporting fans. And he's your manager. You're thinking, what's going on here? What do they know that we don't? On to the next one anyway. Southampton next week's a massive game. That is a must-win. If we lose that, I think we potentially could be going down already. Because if the results go the other way, we could be cutting further drift. So it's a big week with this one. We'll see what happens. Obviously, there could be sackings or stuff going between them, but hopefully I'll catch you on the next one. Cheers.
Thanks for joining me. I've not long come back from the Golden Palace, where it's finished. Wolves 2, Crystal Palace 2. We still await our clean sheet, our first clean sheet in ages, and that's 1 win in 20 games. Fosun must be very patient, because most clubs would have sacked the manager with a run like that. 1 win in 20 games, and that was against Luton, who were relegated. And it just won't do, because most teams, 10 games, no win. And not just 10 games this season without a win. It was the run-in from last season. It was a terrible run. We were losing home, away, virtually every week, except for that Luton game. But how long will they wait before they open the trap door and the manager go through it? Don't get me wrong, I don't like to call for anybody's head. But a run like that, it can't continue, because if it does, it's going to be too late. It's a home game. We've only failed to score in 1 game, and that was the first game away at Arsenal. And we've scored in every game since then. And if today's was a must-win game, next week, at home to Southampton, were previously bottom at the start of the day, but now had their first win against Everton. Next week's definitely a must-win. Will the manager still be in situ by then? We'll have to wait and see. But there's reports in the press that David Moyes said he'd be well up for the job, and so would Graham Potter, who is from the West Midlands. So it's an interesting thought. But the possession was about 57% to 43% in favour of Wolves. The change in the lineup from the Brighton game was that they said that the captain Lamina had a bit of a niggle, so he was replaced by number 21 Sarabia, and Jose Sarr kept his place in goal, 3rd game in a row, his 5th game of the season. So him and Johnston have played about half the games each. But it'll be interesting to see what happens from now on. The first half, our best chance was it was a through ball to Sarabia. It was 1-on-1 with the keeper, but he probably dawdled too long, and the keeper closed him down and saved it well, Dean Henderson. And was most of our problems were caused by when we misplaced passes in the first 10 minutes. There was one by Sarabia, conceded possession, and then there was a flick by somebody, I think it was Cunha, and they broke away. And it was thankfully there came to nothing. But it was Crystal Palace who took the lead. It was a bit of a disaster, because our goalie, he was about to catch the ball, and Larson headed it out of his hands straight to their player, who gladly tucked it away into the empty goal. And you could see, because I was above where the goal went in, so I had a good view of it. You could see Larson gesturing that he didn't receive a call, but old-fashioned goalkeepers used to come, clatter everybody, punch the ball, but it didn't happen, and they gleefully accepted that. And we had a bad 5 minutes after that, because after that we conceded possession trying to play that from the back, and they missed a chance, and they had another one where they curled just wide. Then the manager made a triple substitution. He hauled off Doyle, Totti Gomez and Sarabia, and brought on Bellegarde, Lamina and Guedes. And it was Lamina who did a brilliant turn deep in his own half, and ran forward with it and sprayed the ball out. It was a good move by Cunha, and Guedes laid it off to Strand Larsen, who tucked away his 4th goal of the season. And that gave us a bit of momentum, because after that we looked likely. We switched from 5-3-2 to 4-4-2, which is interesting because last week both our goals came after we switched from 5-3-2 to 4-4-2. And it was good to see Guedes getting an assist for João Gomez's goal to put us 2-1 ahead. João Gomez was arguably our best player. Thought Santi Bueno had a good game as well. Because what it is, he's a better player than he looks, because he's quite skinny, tall, gangling, and he hasn't got a very big muscular physique, so he looks vulnerable, but he's a pretty effective player, arguably our most accomplished centre-half. And again, it was disappointing, the goal, what we conceded. It was from a corner, and the England centre-half, Mark Gahey, he had unmarked back post, another set-piece, corner, and he just gleefully tapped it in. So our goalie, who was arguably man of the match against Man City with a few very good saves, in the last week, it was his weak kick-out that led to the Brighton's first goal last week, and today he was arguably to blame for both goals. But we're rock bottom now, and so how long do we give it? Because 1 win in 20, that's poor by any standards. Can it go on? Is he going to survive the week? If he does, and if we don't win next week, he's got to be gone. He's got to be, surely. Don't get me wrong, I've got no pleasure in calling for his head, but we're getting detached at the bottom. Games are running out. I know it's only November, but smell the coffee. What do we do? But hopefully I'll be there next week. We'll keep supporting Wolves thick and thin, but it finished 2-2. We're still bottom, 1 win in 20, no clean sheet. But come on, up the Wolves.